Hi, I'm Sheila.
And I'm LC, and we're the Ladder Lab. We're the Ladder Lab ladies. We're mom-daughter, and we're here to help you get unstuck in your career.
We're ready to help them level up. And
Yep.
Today we're going to be talking about what's happening in the industry, in the job market industry. LC, you've been using this term, ghost jobs.
Ghost jobs, I'm well aware, yes. Ghost jobs, I have found this time and time again, where companies will post jobs with no intention of hiring someone. And so you apply thinking, this is a legit job, I'm applying. And then you don't hear back, or you immediately hear back and say you've been rejected. What I've later found out is that those companies have no intention of hiring those people. But why do they do that? Why do they have ghost jobs?
Well, I love the term because
Yes.
I believe it really is apropos to what's happening in the market. But I've been fortunate to have some insider information being a part of these conference calls with some of these corporations who are sharing what's going on in the marketplace. But more importantly, I was also in the role. Let me start with what I've heard in the marketplace. Right now, the government's labor site says that there's 7 million jobs available. Of the 7 million, 68% are government-based jobs.
Wow.
The others are either nonprofit or revenue-based companies supposedly applying. But what I've found is we've been in a cycle in our country of laying off, people being taken out of positions because corporations have had to cut costs. They've also cut in their HR roles, and they've cut some recruiters. The recruiters were the individuals who took some of those jobs off of the websites and kept the websites up to date. So if they've laid off a number of recruiters, then possibly those jobs are just sitting there from way back when, and you, the applicant, has no clue.
No idea. You think it's a normal job posting.
You think it is. That's one issue that's occurring. There's another issue that's happening, and that is that in some cases, some of these companies don't ever intend to hire those jobs, but they're keeping them up as a marketing ploy to look like there is some activity going on in their company when there really isn't. So it's hard to know. And some positions are actually real, but it's very difficult to know. I will say this, LC. When I worked at FedEx and I was in an officer role, I saw this time and time again. I could always tell when we were going to be in a cost-cutting cycle. Meaning what we've just seen here in the U.S., this cutting back. What ends up happening is we stop spending capital dollars. And capital dollars are associated with growth. This is where you're applying money into projects that are going to provide future revenue, future growth, but you've got to start applying that money and spending that money to build out whatever that product is or that service is that you're going to offer in the future. Well, when capital dollars are no longer a big part of your budget, then you as the officer know, okay, we're now going to get into what I used to call hunker down mode. Hunker down means that we're going to cut back and we're going to offer the bare minimum of what our service is to keep us in the marketplace. You would say, why would a company do that if they could continue to grow revenue? No, what happens is if the market is not spending like it was and revenue is down, then, and if your cost is up, well, isn't that how your own personal bank statement works? The company then gets in trouble from a financial standpoint, gets upside down. So you've got to lower your costs, keep offering the service. Well, one of the biggest costs to a company's budget, frankly, is their labor. It's usually comes in terms of labor and fuel and assets. So labor, if we can cut out labor, and that's people who are working, then we're able to lower the cost. And what happens in an organization is usually each officer is required to cut their budget a certain percent when you're going into the hunker down mode. And that's what we've been in. What we're coming out of, I believe right now, is going to be a growth mode. What I'm hearing on the calls I'm on is innovation is occurring in the technology sector, in the healthcare sector, in the industrial manufacturing sector. We're going to see a redesign in the government sector, but you've already heard about some of the jobs that are going to go away, basically, but they'll be doing re-engineering in that role. So if the technology sector is growing, then you might say, well, we've heard AI is taking away jobs, right?
Right, very much so.
And that is true.
Right.
It's going to redefine what the tech jobs are.
There'll be new ones.
There'll be new ones.
New skill sets will be required.
That's exactly right. And as this begins to grow, and I guarantee you right now, when I saw the growth move coming forward in the corporation, what I saw was it's time to get the teams together to start thinking of ideas for us to move to the future. And we'll also put together an innovative team that'll go off by themselves and start thinking about roles and jobs and products and services that we could layer on in this new environment. That is happening in corporations right now. Another interesting thing in the industrial and manufacturing modes, along with energy, what is happening right now is many of the things that had been sent overseas to cut costs are now, these companies are looking to bring it back to the U.S. Not everything, but some things. The lower cost items that can be more transactional, they're not going to do that. But we're going to start seeing manufacturing. Well, you would argue that with manufacturing, there'll be AI and robotics and that sort of thing. Opportunities, more opportunities. So I believe where we are, we're going to see a cleaning out of that job pipeline.
Okay.
I think we're going to see growth. It's going to take time. So using our framework and preparing.
It's a good time to be preparing for that.
Preparing, exactly.
But what my friends are currently seeing and the people that I've been coaching and what I've personally experienced, the job market has been really tough with layoffs and like people are mass applying to jobs into their resumes going to this big black hole for lack of better terms, and they never hear back. And so I think it's encouraging to hear that we're coming out of this and companies are really going through a change. Jobs are changing, companies are changing. So it's a good time to get your brand ready to go when this starts to open up.
Well, and I also think you're right. It's a perfect time. So I guess I would say the environment is perfect for you. But I'm going to also say this. I had a career that lived both up and down in markets. Markets go up and down. That's how they work. I'm going to say I found that I grew probably more in the down market. The reason is during that period, I spent time looking ahead and saying, where do I want to be?
Right.
AI right now is big in the marketplace. If you're in healthcare, go read, go meet with people, go talk to people about where it's going. What are the new jobs? There are courses. We have the internet. Start digging into what those new jobs, look at the skill sets, and then when we get ready to build more to your plan, if you've got your purpose statement written that says what you offer that employer, and you think like the employer who's going to be implementing the new technology, then you've got a step ahead.
So
that was
use
the way.
Time wisely, not just start mass applying and throwing your resume out into a dark hole.
Aren't you telling your friends right now, stop it?
Oh, 100%. It's got to stop. It's just leading to more chaos, and it's causing more noise and more harm than good. At the end of the day, you've really got to take a step back and do exactly what prepare today, so tomorrow we'll be ready.
What is that statement that I say all the time?
Do today what others won't, so you'll have tomorrow what others don't.
That's my favorite statement because it's very, very true. And I will say that I'm really excited for this generation. I mean, I believe that the Gen X and the millennials have the opportunity to step in, really understand their worth. I mean, the exercises we've taken you through in the previous videos, it's really steps to get you to really look at yourself
I think
and see how great you are. And you're great. And there's jobs out there. Be the first to step into those roles.
it's encouraging because as someone who is in the younger population, we've been told kind of this negative saying that really and truly we can't go reach our dreams and goals, and it's been kind of this negative cycle of the next pandemic, the next environmental crisis. It's crisis after crisis, and I'm never going to be able to reach that next thing. So this is encouraging to hear.
Well, I'm going to say one more thing about this is that we end up looking to these stars, these football players. That's who we've all looked at.
Yes.
The truth is they started
Entertainment
somewhere.
industry, right?
Yes, we're not looking at and if you look at who's out there in even the business industry, in those industries I talked about, those people are going to be moving on. Guys, there's going to be so much opportunity. They're going to need the doers, the thinkers, the inventors, the leaders, the media. I mean, business is going to need you.
So
And
there's hope.
There's hope. Now's
How
the time.
exciting.
Now's the time.
So this is now the best time to build that brand statement. If you haven't watched our videos before, please go back and make sure that you watch the video from the very start. We've been in a series. Make sure that you've written out that brand statement to be as clear as possible, to be ready for the good that's coming.
Yes.
So exciting. We're ready.
So click on the link below and
Hit that subscribe button.
yes.
And turn on your notifications because we'll be having more videos in the future.
We'll be having more videos in the future.